Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Filip Cerny, and welcome to our today's webinar, Unleashing Flowmon 13, where we're going to look together what new improvements and features we're introducing in this new release. Together with me here is Stritezsky, our product owner for the NPMD. Hi, Jan.
Hello.
And he's our expert on the Flowmon side, so will walk you through the presentation. Before I will give him the word, let me go over the housekeeping rules. So this webinar is being recorded. You will receive the recording in the follow-up email. If you have trouble hearing us, please try reconnecting to your audio. And if you have any questions throughout the webinar, there is a dedicated panel in your navigational bar, so feel free to submit your questions throughout the webinar. We will try to answer the questions throughout the webinar as if we can, but there is a dedicated Q&A time at the end of the session as well. For those questions that we won't have enough time to answer, we will answer you in the follow-up email as well. So this is it, and thank you for joining. And Jan, I'll give you the word. What new features in Flowmon 30 we can look forward to? Tell us.
Okay, thanks. So, as Filip said, my name is Stritezsky. I'm a product owner of NPMD, and I will walk you through the product news and show you what the latest version brings. So let's get started. Flowmon 13 is a major step forward. We focus on speed, usability, and efficient data analysis to make troubleshooting and investigations significantly faster and more intuitive. In the next slides, you will see what this means in practice. The biggest change is the new collector backend. Queries are calculated much faster, the UI reacts instantly, and both analysis and root cause investigations are reduced from hours to minutes, meaning fewer outages and less business impact. Compared to Flowmon 12, Flowmon 13 reaches up to 7 times faster computations and noticeably more responsive UI interactions. This performance gain is driven by our new multi-threaded backend, which executes queries in parallel. This is something you will feel immediately in everyday use, especially when working with longer time periods or more complex reports. On these slides, you see the tests. The first one on the left, it is the statistics of top 10 IP addresses sorted by bytes with a filter. The second one is without filter. You can see it is up to 7 times faster than Flowmon 12. The third test is sorted list of flows. Here we can see up to 6 times faster than Flowmon 12. And the last one is using IP indexing, that is 4.4 times faster. The main analysis chart now uses a new granularity logic. The last 3 months are stored in 30 seconds intervals, while all the data is aggregated to 5-minute blocks. Granularity is selected automatically based on the chosen time frame, but you can always adjust it manually if you need more detail or quicker overview. One of our early adopter customers highlighted that choosing a 30-second interval instead of 5-minute results up to 10 times faster queries. IP indexing is no longer limited to all sources profile. It is now available for all profiles. If you know what you are looking for, this dramatically speeds up searches across large time windows, which is extremely useful during incident response or audits. We are introducing investigations, visualized interconnected analysis steps. You can easily switch between them, add child steps, use variables, rename steps, recalculate everything with one click, and share or save entire investigation within the same tenant. This brings repeatability, clarity, and speed to analytical workflows. Here you can see how an investigation flows using a DDoS example. First, we look at the protocols and ports. Then identify the target IP, and finally expand into 3 branches. First flows, attackers' autonomous systems, and countries of origin. This produces a clear investigation tree you can reuse or share.
So this is great, Jan. So if you go back, sorry. So basically, if you conduct any troubleshooting investigations, the way you ask questions, you can see those individual steps in this like a decision tree, and then you can apply, you can save that investigation, that same logic as you would go and apply it to a different set of data.
Yes, that's true.
Super.
I will talk about one more slide and we can go to the live demo and data in action.
Okay, super, thank you.
So the last slide for monitoring center is a redesign of alert evaluation. Instead of fixed 5-minute blocks, we can now configure window size and how often the last window should be evaluated. This floating window approach catches short bursts and anomalies that other tools often miss, just like in the example scenario on the slide. Okay, so let me try to switch to Flowmon. And here we can see what's new. So there is the granularity which you can change. It depends on the interval that you select. If you want to have the 30 seconds ones, you need to select maximum, I think, 6 hours. Then you can switch to the 30-second slots. If you make the interval bigger, then it automatically switches to 5 minutes. And if it is much more bigger, then it jumps to 30 minutes up to 6 hours or even 1 day. So let's see the investigations. You can start them by clicking the Start Investigation button that is located next to the Process button. And here you will have the panel on the right side. This is what we call root step. And that is the step that starts the investigation where you select the interval and filter. In our example, let's see, we can see some peaks in flows. So let's investigate what's going on. I will select this. And here even I can see that the peaks are on the TCP protocol. So I can change this. And what shall we do? Let's ask for the ports and sort it by flows. So here we have the result. And as we see, the 99% of flows is used by HTTP port. So we can continue with our investigation. We can right click and do another investigation. So here we want to see the destination IP address. As you see, it created a new child step, and the filters from the first step and the second one are connected with AND, and we can even see it here. So it's protocol TCP and destination port HTTP. And now we see that there is again one IP address that takes the most of the flows. So it is the IP address that is attacked. We can rename the step and app description. Let's rename this to, let's say, attacked IP. And then we can continue with our investigation. We can ask for the first 20 flows. As you see, new step is created. And here we can see the first flows that talks to this IP address. Now I want to show you how we can use variables. Variables are of two types: value, where you can put your value, or a reference. That reference is the step. So here we can choose the attacked IP step. From that, we can choose the first line or a row. And in that row, we can select any of the columns. And let's see the destination IP address. We give it our name. So now we create the reference variable that is named IP, and it shows to this cell in the table. Then in any other steps, we can use it. Let's see, in our example, we wanted to see the source autonomous systems. So again, if I click, now you see the branching here. And now we will have the results. So these are the top 10 autonomous systems. And instead of this IP, I can use my variable. So I will write it here and I can process it. It should return the same data because the variable should have the same value. But what is cool, we can go back to the first step and see, okay, we have another pig here. So we change the interval and we can run or process the query again. Now we have the information that we have inconsistent steps because we changed something in the previous steps. These steps now show wrong data. So we can click process and they will one by one go and automatically recalculate. And after that is done, we can then see what the results are. So let's wait for the last one. Okay, it is done. So now, again, we see that the port is HTTP, but in the next step, here on the first place is some IP version 6 that is attacked. So if we switch to the first flows, okay, that are not the correct ones. Let's see if we will try to get this. And if we go to autonomous systems, I think there will be no information because we don't have the information for IPv6. Let me go back and see. Okay, yes, this is not correct because we don't have the variable here. So again, if we put here the correct variable, we will have the correct list of flows. So this is how our investigation works. You can switch between the steps, you can branch, you can delete the steps, you can rename them, you can share them with tenants. So if there are more people working with Flowmon, you can send the link to the investigation to your colleague and he can continue with investigating what is going on. And
this is really good for collaboration now that I see it, because you can actually, if you bring any new team member into your investigation, they can exactly see step by step how you proceeded, what kind of questions you've asked, and basically see your workflow. So that's really good.
Yes, you can create these investigations. In the later version, we will introduce playbooks, so predefined investigations. And if there's someone new, you can say, okay, in this case, use this investigation or this playbook. In that case, use the other. So if there is someone new, he does not need to understand the whole thing, what is going on here. He can just run it and then see the results. And from these results, he can continue with his work. Okay, so these were investigations and the analysis page. Now let's jump to alerts. So what is the new alerting? Now we have the evaluation rate and evaluation interval. So in the rate, you select how often the interval is calculated or evaluated. In Flowmon 12, it was like last 5 minutes and the interval was 5 minutes, or it was 5, 10, 15. It depended on the cycles, how you put them there. Now you can select the predefined values here. And the only thing is that the evaluation interval must be divisible by the rate. So here, if we select 30 seconds and 5 minutes interval, this means that every 30 seconds, the last 5 minutes will be evaluated and checked for the conditions that are below. Then the new backend works that if there is flow that is, let's say, exported later, the collector saves it to the correct space. So we have these two options. This one is means that the alert is triggered right away. That means it does not wait for the whole interval. And this one is when all data is available, and this is based on the active timeout. So we know most likely that after 5 minutes, we should have all the flows that were in the last 5 minutes. So we can wait. But if you want to shoot the alert right away when something is going, let's say if there is some peak, we don't need to wait for all the data. We know that the peak is happening, so we want this information as fast as possible. Then we can select this one. And the block was again a little bit changed from the cycles to the minutes or seconds. So after you will update your Flowmon from 12 to 13, these alerts will have most likely the 5 minutes and 5 minutes rate and interval. Then you can go edit them and change them to 30 seconds if you want to have the information sooner than after 5 minutes. So that is, I think, all from the monitoring center. Or okay, I have one more information for you. And that is that the computation of top chapters was remade as well. And now we store for the last 24 hours, the granularity of the data in top chapters are 5 minutes. What this means? This is Flowmon 12. And if you have the dashboards and you have, let's say, the 12 hours in Flowmon 12, the granularity is 1 hour. So you have these big chunks of data. And in Flowmon 13, it is 5 minutes. So the last 15 hours look like this. So again, you have more visibility into the last 24 hours. And I think we can jump back to the presentation and continue. Okay, so Quota Manager. Quota Manager has been significantly redesigned as well. Instead of sliders, you now enter precise numerical values. Changes are highlighted, and you clearly see the current versus future disk allocation. Each profile also shows its retention period. How many days of data are stored? The system warns about quota issues and can suspend modules that exceed their limits. Okay, let me jump back. I hope that we have Resource Manager here as well. So this is how Resource Manager looks now. You can write the quotas right into these inputs. And now here you can see this is the current disk allocation. This is the new disk allocation, what will change. And even if I want to try insert something incorrect, it will tell me that this number is too big. And here is the retention period. So you see, if we go to the profiles, the start when we have the data in the profile and when the data ends. If we have continuous profiles, there should be now and the end of the period. So this is new Quotas Manager.
So you can quickly see basically the retention, how much historical data you can get and allocate it. That's great. Yeah.
Okay. This is the first step where we see the retention period, and we got the feedback from our customers that they don't want to set the quota in gigabytes, but they want to set it in days. Let's say they have to have, I don't know, 30 or 30 days or even half a year of the data. So in next versions, we will maybe introduce the retention in days. So you will set, I want to have 60 days of data, and Flowmon will calculate what should be the quota in gigabytes and try to set it correctly. So that is Quota Manager. Now we will talk about 3 practical improvements. First is variable lengths of stored data. Now we see complete long strings, not shortened URLs. So in Flowmon 12, it was cut. Now we have the whole strings. DNS enrichment. When DNS communication occurs, the collector stores it and automatically adds this information to subsequent flows. So this means, again, I can maybe show you then the DNS information is saved to other flows, not just the DNS ones. And VLAN stacking, both customer and service VLAN tags are stored. Instead of seeing just London to New York, now you see, for example, that Dev1 in London talks to Dev4 in New York. This greatly speeds up audits and troubleshooting. And we are expanding visibility into industrial environments. Flowmon now supports Modbus, MQTT, S7, and DNP3 protocols. This makes the platform suitable for industrial automation and operational technology networks where these protocols are critical. Now, let's move into the security section, and that is Flowmon ADS. I'll walk you through performance improvements, DNS-based false positive reductions, and the new anomaly detections for OT environments. The main task for ADS 13 was full compatibility with new backend in Flowmon 13. ADS 13 introduces 3 machine learning-based methods for OT anomaly detection. First is statistical method, and it uses statistical models to classify sequences of new flows either as normal or anomalous. Clustering method uses the k-means clustering algorithm to model traffic as a collection of clusters. Based on identified clusters of normal flows, it is possible to classify the new flow either as normal or unknown. And probabilistic automata method creates and trains traffic models. Based on learned communication patterns, it is possible to classify the sequence of new flows either as normal or unknown. These events typically indicate malfunctioning, misconfigured, malicious, or new devices. Event details show which metric or attribute triggered the anomaly. And after database migration and tuning, the UI is dramatically faster, up to 7 times in single tenant and up to 33 times in multi-tenant environments, especially in analysis summary, simplest, mid-review, and host view pages. Additionally, DNS enrichment reduces false positives because host name-based rules now apply even to non-DNS or non-HTTPS flows that belong to the same domain. And that was last slide for Flowmon and Flowmon ADS. So, Filip.
Okay, so thank you, Jan. I think we've got really nice improvements, and specifically the backend redesign, improving the performance is quite great that our customers will appreciate, I think. We actually have a question already regarding the release. So the Flowmon 13 is currently in the beta stage, and it will turn stable probably at the late February or in the beginning of March. And we will be rolling out the release in waves. So that actually reminds me that once this webinar is concluded, there will be a survey question. So for those of you who are interested in becoming the early adopters and basically update to Flowmon 13 earliest, please answer the 1 survey question that will pop up at the end of the webinar. So that's the plan for the stable. It will also include all Flowmon modules for to stable as well. So Flowmon ADS 13, APM, FPI, data retention, and for IDS probes. So if you have any questions in the later stages, please reach out to our support or through our website on our contact form. And I think we've come towards the end of the webinar. So Jan, thank you very much. I think it was a really nice presentation and I'm excited about all the new features. So please do update your Flowmon to Flowmon 13 and reach out to us if you have any more questions. And thank you. I'll be looking forward to the next webinar.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Goodbye.